Ladies and gentlemen, you're watching, yes, the Yankees Entertainment and Sports Network.
It is a beautiful day here in St. Petersburg, Florida, which means it's a good day for baseball, and the fans are pouring into Tropicana Field to see the final game of this three-game series. As today, Hyundai presents the Sunday game of the week. Yes, it will be the Yankees and the Tampa Bay Rays in the third and final game of the three-game series from Tropicana Field in St. Petersburg, Florida. Hi, everybody. Ken Singleton along with David Cohn. Now, the Yankees came back and won yesterday. They have now split the first two games, and they broke a 5-game losing streak in the process. Came up with a big hit late in the ball game, some power, and some good pitching as well, David.
Well, it was. You know, the Yankees have been looking for runs for a while. Martin Prado, struggling as a Yankee so far, unloads on that fastball for a 2-run home run early in that ball game. That relieved a little bit of pressure, but not much. That brought the Yankees to the 9th inning, and Derek Jeter, after a couple of failed bunt attempts, goes ahead and drives in what would be the winning run, and Brett Gardner, Captain Clutch, comes through again. And then, of course, David Robertson's been looking for a save opportunity for over a week. He gets one, even though he doesn't like that last pitch. Got away with it, put it in the books. Yankees come through with a big win, 3-2.
3-2 win for the Yankees. Let's check out the second American League wild card standings. The Tigers have the lead right now. The Mariners just a half a game back. Blue Jays 3.5. Then the Yankees at 4, followed by the Cleveland Indians at 4.5 games behind in the second wild card race. Today's pitching matchup brought to you by People's United Bank. See what know-how can do. Jeremy Hellickson will get the start for the Rays today. He's been out with an injury. The first time the Yankees will see him this year. He's 1-1 with a 2.03. And Hiroki Kuroda gets the start for the Yankees, 7-8 with a 4.03 ERA. And David, he's pitching with an extra day's rest.
Yeah, that bodes well for Kuroda, as he's done well with extra rest throughout his career. And you can see Kuroda kind of had an uneven outing his last start. It started out fairly well. Looked like he was going to be in control of the game. Had some good fastballs and splitters working, but uncharacteristically wild. That's going to knock him out in the 5th inning as he actually walks in a run with the bases loaded. Kuroda out in the 5th inning with a season-high 4 walks.
Well, Kuroda hoping to bounce back today, but one man who is bouncing back, Brian McCann, back in the lineup. Meredith Marakovich had a chance to talk to the Yankee catcher before today's game.
Finale between the Yankees and the Rays coming your way in just a couple minutes. Hey everyone, I'm Meredith Morakovitz. The Yankees will get a player back this afternoon in catcher Brian McCann, who's been activated from the 7-day concussion DL. To make room for him on the roster, Austin Romine was optioned back to AAA Scranton Wilkes-Barre. McCann had been swinging the bat pretty well in the 5 games prior to being placed on the DL. Take a look at the numbers. He had 2 homers, drove in 4, a .294 average. I spoke with McCann, who said he is excited to get back on the field.
I can't wait. You know, this is kind of, I never thought I'd ever sit out because of the concussion from a foul tip, but it hit me just right, and I just needed to be smart about it.
Obviously, it's a guy that has power, and you know, it's really good to be able to put him back there, because whenever someone goes through something like he went through, you're always concerned. But he feels good, and he's back in.
Plenty more to come here on the Yes Network. Lineup's First Pitch Baseball with Ken Singleton and David Cohn coming up next after the break right here on Yes.
By the Volkswagen Turbocharged Sales Event. Visit VWDealer.com. By Geico, 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. And by Honda, get a great deal on a new car you'll love at the Honda Summer Clearance Event. Oh, there's something about palm trees. Makes everything relaxing. Well, we're about to turn up the heat here as the Yankees and the Rays will get underway in the rubber game of this 3-game series. And here's the Yankees starting lineup presented by Lexus. Yankees winning yesterday by a score of 3-2 on a 9th inning hit by Derek Jeter. Leading off, Brett Gardner, he'll be in left field. Derek Jeter once again the designated hitter. He'll bat second, followed by Jacoby Ellsbury. And cleaning up today is Mark Teixeira. He'll be at first base. Carlos Beltran back in right field. Brian McCann in the lineup. He'll do the catching. Chase Headley will be at third. Stephen Drew is at shortstop. And Martin Prado will bat ninth, and he'll be at second base.
Let's see Jeremy Hellickson out on the mound, doing a little dirt work, getting the holes right. It's just his 6th start on the year. Good numbers, though. 2.03 ERA and 6 walks to 20 strikeouts. We'll go ahead and give you your pitcher scouting report, brought to you by your Tri-Honda dealers. And he is now the elder statesman on this team, in this rotation, rather. You know, the average age of the Rays rotation is just a little under 26 years old. He's 27 years old. Obviously, David Price being traded leaves him as the eldest. And the Century Club, his last start, he made his 100th career start for the Rays. There's only 4 pitchers that have done that. Shields, Price, and Kazmir. James Big Game Shields had actually 231 starts for the Rays. And now Hellickson, this will be his 101st career start. And off-season surgery, he had loose bodies removed from his pitching elbow in January, and they thought it wasn't going to be that serious. They thought they'd get him back maybe in 6 weeks. Well, it took all the way to July the 7th to get him back. He had complications along the way. He's finally back, throwing the ball well, but as we said, just his 6th start of the year. Yeah,
it's never good to have loose bodies. If we take a look at the Geico defense for the Rays, it's going to be Joyce, Jennings, and Kiermaier in the outfield. Longoria, Escobar, Zobrist, and Loney in the infield, with the veteran Jose Molina catching for Jeremy Hellickson this afternoon. We're just about ready to get underway here. This should be a good matchup, with Hellickson going for the Rays and Hiroki Kuroda pitching for the New York Yankees. Let's take a look at the game time weather conditions presented by Bigelow Tea. Out of doors, it's 89 degrees, kind of humid, 63%. The wind at 5 miles per hour. The forecast mostly sunny, and it's always going to be hot in Florida this time of year.
89 degrees, but I tell you what, it felt like about 109 walking in here today.
Here is Brian McCann back in the lineup for the first time since August the 8th, out with the concussion syndromes, hit in the mask with a foul tip. And man, several catchers over the years been afflicted by concussions after taking foul tips to the mask. This is Brett Gardner. It was his hit in the 9th inning, along with an error, got him in the scoring position for Derek Jeter's hit that eventually won the game 3-2. He scored his 75th run of the season. Gardner did, and that leads the Yankees among the top 10 in the American League. And we're ready to go. First pitch is fouled back and out of play. Gardner leads the Yankees, as I said, with 75 runs. Next on the list is Jacoby Ellsbury. He has scored 56 times. Hellickson, former 4th round draft pick of the Rays back in 2005. Rookie of the year in 2011 in the American League. Went 13-10 that year. Pitch to Gardner, swung on and missed, and it's 0-2. Gardner's 1 for 7 in the series. Hellickson, good fastball, low to mid 90s. Changeup is excellent, like most of these Rays pitchers, and he also has a good breaking ball. The 0-2 pitch is foul tipped into the glove of Jose Molina, and Gardner's a strikeout victim. 1 down. And once again, we'll listen to the ovation for the Yankee captain as he steps to the plate.
Designated hitter, number 2, Derek Jeter.
It's almost like a home game wherever Derek goes.
Eat your heart out, Joe Madden, whether you like it or not.
Whereas Jeter had the hit that put the Yankees in front. And he is 3 for 8 in this series against Tampa Bay, hitting at .272 overall on the season. Hellickson deals, and it's right down Broadway, in there for a called strike. On Rays fans cheering for Derek Jeter, this is from Joe Madden, the Rays manager. It's great that it's sold out, and I understand that people like Derek Jeter, but you got to come out and root for the Rays too. I'm not going to sit here and defend all of that noise in the Yankees' favor in our ballpark. There's a ball, and it's 1-1. What do you expect him to say?
It's really fresh, after the game. That's why, reporters, as you see Jeter kind of acknowledge Madden. He always does that, points to Madden. He really has a lot of respect. But you get an interview fresh after a game, after a tough loss, you're going to get quotes like that.
Check swing, and that is a called strike. That was the Hellickson changeup. Oh, yesterday there was a crowd over 30,000 here, only the 3rd crowd of the year.
It's been a perennial problem here in this venue, as the Rays are dead last in the major leagues in attendance.
Outside, 2 balls and 2 strikes.
So it's only natural that Joe Madden and the organization would feel, the Yankees are in town. It's kind of like Yankee Stadium South down here for this weekend, and you can understand the frustration, but at the same point, It's Derek Jeter. It's his last season, and a lot of Yankee fans here.
2-2 pitch hit on the ground towards third. Longoria backs up, straightens, throws, and it's wide, and Jeter is safe. As Lance Bartell says that Loney was pulled off the bag. Now Loney is looking towards the dugout, and we'll see if Joe Mann's going to challenge this. And it doesn't appear that he's going to do so.
Well, you could see that Longoria's got plenty of time. Talk about a Sunday hop and an easy throw, but just doesn't quite finish it. And a good effort by James Loney to kind of cross over in front of the bag. We'll see here if he retains contact, and no, he does not.
Good call by Lance Barksdale. Jeter is safe, so the Yankees have a man on with one out and bring up Jacoby Ellsbury. By the way, I was wrong. I said that was the fourth Rays crowd over 30,000 this year, but it's the first time that they lost in front of 30,000 people, so then maybe that's why Joe Madden was upset. They're 3-1 in those games. And you go back to 2008, they played very well in front of the bigger crowds. They're 52-18 in front of crowds of 30,000 and more here at Tropicana Field. They just don't have enough of those crowds. Here's Ellsbury. And he'll take a pitch loan away for a ball.
Well, there's no doubt, obviously, we're going to have a transition in the commissioner's office. Rob Manfred's going to take over for Bud Selig, and two of the top priority items are the venues in Oakland and the venue here in Tampa, and what can be done to sort of help these franchises out and find a long-term solution.
Ellsbury had a good swing, fouls it back. Fans are reminded that Yankee baseball is available in Spanish by hitting the SAP button on your remote. SAP is brought to you by Infinity. Ellsbury looking for his first hit on the road trip. He is 0 for 15. He also had an 0 for 17 in May. And I make that an 0 for 15 in May and an 0 for 17 in June. That's low and inside. Good reception by Jose Molina, who still is a very fine defensive catcher. We mentioned it yesterday. He's the oldest catcher in the major leagues, 39 years old now. Imagine all the wear and tear over the years. Ellsbury ahead on the count, 2 balls and a strike. Jeter takes a not too big a lead at first. Ball is hit in the air towards left field. Matt Joyce coming over towards the line will put it away for out number 2. Jeter retreats. So Ellsbury's still looking for his first hit on this road trip as Mark Teixeira will come up. Texas had a good trip. He had 2 hits here yesterday. 5 for 15. And as we mentioned yesterday, still 1 home run behind Joe DiMaggio on the all-time list. Teixeira's next home run will be his 361st. Timeout is called by Jose Molina. Breaking ball is a little outside for ball 1, a slow curve. We mentioned Hellickson's first trip against the Yankees this year, and the last time he faced them was July 26th of last season. He picked up the win, and the Rays won 10-6. 4-1 in his career against the Yankees. There's a pitch, and it's in there for a strike. Speaking of Joe D, Joe DiMaggio, 361 home runs in his career. In his career, he struck out 369 times. That's over 13 seasons. There's guys who do that in 2 years.
Yeah, that's a thing of the past.
Swing and a miss. Strike 2, 1-2.
I think you could probably count on one hand in both leagues this year of the number of hitters that have equal or more walks than strikeouts. And if you see that on the stat sheet on any one hitter that actually has more walks and strikeouts, it is a rare thing.
Hellickson deals, and it's outside, 2-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes. There are 2 down to Derek Jeter at first base. He reached on an error. On deck, if he gets a chance, it's Carlos Beltran. Pitch is popped up into short center field. Going back is Longoria. He's calling for it, and he will make the catch. And that'll do it for the Yankees. No runs, no hits. There was 1 error, then 1 man left. The end of half an inning. No score. The Rays are coming to the plate. Starting lineup presented by Chevrolet. And for the Rays, familiar lineup this series. Desmond Jennings will lead it off. He'll be in center field. Ben Zobrist will be at second base. Matt Joyce is in left. Cleanup hitter is Evan Longoria, followed by James Loney at first. Yunel Escobar will be at shortstop. Vince Belnome is the designated hitter. Jose Molina doing the catching, and batting ninth in right field, Kevin Kiermaier.
Here's Hiroki Kuroda finishing up his warm-ups. We mentioned in the pregame how he kind of had an uneven outing in his last one against Cleveland. A little uncharacteristically wild. The 7-8 record, kind of par for the course. Run support always a problem. Walks to strikeout still very good. Let's go ahead and give you your pitcher's scouting report, brought to you by your Tri-Honda dealers and quality control. Well, since 2008, Kenny, Hiroki Kuroda's had 30 starts that he's lost in which he's at least had a quality start, which means 6 innings pitched or 3 earned runs or less. That's 30 times he's gotten a loss. And Dog Day afternoon, well, August is his month. These are the dog days. This is an afternoon. Kuroda's lowest ERA of his career is in the month of August, 3.04. And in fact, since 08, that's the 12th lowest in the major leagues. And Wooly Bully, well, he's had 5 games this year where he's left with a lead and the bullpen has lost that lead, and that is a Wooly Bully. And that's unusual because the Yankee bullpen is the strength of this team, but not on the days he pitches.
He comes in with a record of 7-8, and here's his first pitch of the afternoon to Jennings, and Jennings takes like a slider, and it's a call, strike 1. Jennings has a 5-game hitting streak going, and he's had 3 hits in this series, 3 for 7 against the Yankees. Strike 2 call as Kuroda hits the outside corner again. Kuroda's career record against the Rays is 2-4 with a very high earned run average. This has not been a team that he's had much success against. He's 0-1 this year. Swing and a miss on a splitter, and Jennings chases a pitch and is strikeout number 1. The Yankee defense is presented by Geico. Gardner, Ellsbury, and Beltran back out there for the 2nd day in a row in right field. Headley, Drew, Prado, and Teixeira in the infield, and McCann doing the catching. 3 of those 4 infielders were not with the Yankees when the season started. Headley, Drew, and Prado. There's McCann back in the lineup. Been out with the concussion syndrome, but passed all the tests and is back in there. Ben Zobrist to the plate, and he takes one in there for a call strike. splitter in the dirt. It looked like it hit off the mask of McCann. And it's 1-1 on Zobrist. Zobrist is the Rays' all-time leader in 2 base hits. And when you're dealing with 2, I guess it's quite appropriate. He has 222 of them. 2 more than Evan Longoria. So Longoria is right on his tail. Hit on the ground and foul. You saw George Hendrick take a step backwards, let that one go by. A little too hot to handle. And the count is 1-2. Did you face George Hendrick?
I did.
Yeah.
My rookie year, I faced him on a Saturday game of the week.
He's a good player.
With Vin Scully announcing,
too. Right.
Never forget that. Struck him out. I own you. Just kidding.
Ground ball towards the middle, and Zobrist has himself a base hit. His 3rd hit of the series, and he's on with 1 out. So Zobrist will give way to Matt Joyce, the left fielder.
A little fastball down and in, and Zobrist just not a real big swing at it, just a contact swing, almost a little abbreviated swing, just punches it right back up the middle.
This looks like what you would see in a cricket match. This type of swing, if you look at it on Yes-Mo, brought to you by your Mercedes-Benz Tri-State dealer. I haven't watched too much cricket, but that's the way they seem to swing at the ball.
It's a base hit, not much on style points, but 1 for 1.
Here's Matt Joyce, who is 1 for his last 10. He steps in against Kuroda. Infield at double play depth, line drive. This is going into center field for a base hit. Turning at second, heading for third is Zobrist. Here comes the throw, and he's in there safely. The Rays have always been known for being very aggressive on the bases. So now it's 1st and 3rd with 1 out.
Well, yeah, I mean, this is going to go in the books as an extra base taken, and Zobrist just never hesitates. Goes 1st to 3rd on a base hit up the middle. Not the easiest thing to do, and the way you do it is right there. You just go. Challenge Jacoby Ellsbury on that throw, and now sets up 1st and 3rd with 1 out.
And it brings up the cleanup hitter, Evan Longoria. He's the Rays' leading RBI man with 64. As Kuroda looking for a double play ball somewhere. Swing and a miss, strike 1. And there's his numbers against Kuroda. 9 for 21. That works out to a .429 batting average, and one of those 9 hits left the ballpark. Former 1st-round pick out of Long Beach State. Inside for a ball. In fact, while he was playing at Long Beach State, he was a teammate of Troy Tulowitzki. That must have been a solid left side of the infield. A couple of #1 draft picks.
It's about as good as it gets. Can you imagine those 2 guys with aluminum bats in their hands? Not fun.
Throw to first to check on Joyce. He's back easily. There have only been 4 stolen base attempts against Kuroda this year, and 2 of them have made it. Swing and a miss, strike 2. Another good breaking ball.
That's the pitch that Kuroda has actually gotten better with over the last several starts. You know, the slider, such a key pitch for him against right-handed batters. That's a tight little one too, with a little depth to it. Got Longoria shaking his head right there.
Yeah, knee high on the outside corner, well located. It was a strike. Now you got him leaning. What do you do? Timeout is called.
Kind of saw Shane Green yesterday give the formula against Longoria. Of course, Shane Green was so good yesterday, but that hard sinker in off the plate and the sliders away.
Yeah, he had the formula against everybody yesterday. 10 strikeouts, a career high for Shane Green. Outside for a ball. Count levels at 2-2 on Longoria. The Rays are threatening here in the bottom of the 1st inning. Runners at 1st and 3rd with just 1 out. Now it's a full count. You'll watch Joyce at first base. Will he be on the move? That's one way to avoid a double play. On deck is James Loney. Good contact hitter.
And 3 straight sliders to Longoria, and the best one was the one he swung at. Progressively 2-4 outside with the last 2. Now on 3-2. Do they go back to the fastball in, or do they try a 4th straight slider?
Keep an eye on Joyce at first base.
Looks like the fastball in.
Joyce is not going. The pitch is hit on the ground towards second. Good stop by Prado. Only one play. Throws the first for the out. And the Rays are going to pick up a run. Zobrist scores, and it's 1-0. But Prado kept that from being a base hit.
Well, he did as Prado was moving towards second base to cover in the event of a strike him out, throw him out. And rarely do you see the double bounce to first base from a second baseman. But an excellent play nonetheless by Prado, who got, as you see, he kind of got caught flat-footed. You get a dive and off balance, a double hopper to Teixeira. That's going to be an RBI for Longoria.
So a runner at second is Matt Joyce for James Loney, and the first pitch to the Loney is in there for a strike. On the downside for Kuroda, opponents have now scored in the first inning in each of his last 5 starts. So he's kind of gotten in a hole right away in his last 5 ball games. Loney lifts one into left field. Going to be a long run for Brett Gardner. He's on the move. He's got the speed. He makes the play, and that's going to do it. The Rays pick up a run on 2 hits. We played 1 inning here in Florida, and it's 1-0 Tampa Bay. Prius is the official hybrid vehicle of the Yankees, and here's how our conversation starts this afternoon. What methods would you try and jumpstart the Yankees offense right now, and why? How do you get it going? At Chris Zibkowski, more hit and runs early in the count to make hitters more aggressive during ABs while adding pressure on the defense. That's one way of doing it. Fans, follow Yes Network and tweet us your responses using hashtag Yankee Prius to keep the conversation going. And also maybe shake up the lineup. That might do it.
It's tough, maybe a seance. You can channel Babe Ruth and Lou Gehrig. Start lighting candles.
Yeah. Anything to get him going. Carlos Beltran would be there if there's a seance. He's 1 for 15 on this trip. As Hellickson deals first pitch of the second inning, changeup way upstairs, ball 1. Trying to think of some of the things my teammates have done in the past when they weren't hitting. Clean out their lockers, bring it all back the next day. Pitch misses, ball 2. Start the season all over again.
equipment's a big one. Change the equipment.
Yeah. Two-0 pitch, and Beltran takes outside ball 3. When you're at home, you come to the ballpark a different way.
Start hanging out with new friends.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Here's the 3-0 pitch, and that is poured in there for a call strike. Big Beltran, McCann, and Headley for the Yankees here in a second. The shift is on with Beltran at the plate. 3 Rays on the right side of the field. Change up is low for ball 4, and it's a leadoff walk. So Hellickson deals his first base on balls of the afternoon. And as David pointed out, he doesn't walk too many. And here's McCann. His first action since August the 8th. 13 home runs, 49 runs batted in. And the Rays maintain the shift on the right side. The pitch is outside for a ball. But one thing I noticed, Longoria is playing a little closer on the left side. McCann has hit a few to the left side this year.
Yeah, he's taking a shot that way, especially early in the count.
Pitch is high, ball 2. And I think that's one thing come next spring training with all these shifts and so many teams doing it that players are going to start to work on in spring training. I don't think they feel quite comfortable breaking this out during the regular season. Some of them are pretty stubborn to begin with. They just don't want to even think about a shift. They're just going to hit the way they normally do. That's ball 3. 3 balls and no strikes. Hellickson falls behind, second straight batter.
You know, that's a great point, Kenny, because you're going to see more situational hitting arise to counter some of these shifts. Game situations are going to dictate a lot later in the games when you need base runners, counts.
If you're down by 2 runs, why not lay down a bunt? The 3-0 pitch, and that is in there for a strike. McCann should get a pretty good pitch to hit here. Hellickson has already walked 1 batter, and he's behind 3-1 to McCann. Swings and fouls it off to the left, and the count is now full at 3-2. Today being August the 17th, so McCann was out for 9 days. They're taking a foul tip off the mask and suffering a concussion. Let's see if Beltran's on the move here at 3-2. Talking about being aggressive. Timeout is called.
The aggressive part in this case with nobody out would be to stay out of a potential double play ground ball. And then, of course, if McCann finds the outfield grass, it's easier to go first to third.
Beltran's not going. The pitch is hit high in the inner center field. Jennings moves toward his right, is there, makes the catch, and it's 1 out. McCann flies out and gives way to Chase Headley, the Yankee third baseman, who'll be next. The Yankees are closing out this road trip this afternoon. They'll be in action on Tuesday at home against the Houston Astros. Headley, former All-American at the University of Tennessee. And the pitch is in the dirt, scooped up by Molina. At one time when Carlos Beltran got on base, he was one of the base stealers in all of baseball. Of course, he's had knee problems over the years. But not only was such a good, he had big numbers, he rarely got caught stealing. Swing and a miss. And it's a ball and a strike on Headley.
Yeah, at one point it was Carlos Beltran with the Royals, Kansas City Royals, breaking in, playing center field, and Johnny Damon and Jermaine Dye. It's a very talented young outfield that the Royals had.
Pitch is hit hard and just foul down the right field side. Right away, you knew that Loney wasn't going to get it. It was just a matter of fair or foul. And Headley just a bit too quick.
Well, this is Hellickson's best pitch, that changeup, and Headley just a little out in front of it and hooks it. You could see sort of the black rubber, or what did you call the stuff underneath the turf?
It's granulated rubber.
Granulated rubber. Every ball that hits it, you see a little rat tail of black rubber shooting up in the air. That's
where all the old tires go. They're here at Tropicana Field. The 1-2 pitch, and it misses the outside corner. 2-2 to Headley.
And there it is. Replace your divot.
Old tires, old sneakers.
Recycle right here.
Recycle. Swing and a miss on an off-speed pitch, and Headley is struck out. Hellickson with his second strikeout of the game. We're going to take a look at the Honda League leaders. Team strikeouts per 9 innings. And the Rays are up there at 8.9. Indians 8.6. They're in the Yankees, the Angels, and the Mariners. All strikeout staffs. And the thing about it, the Rays are on pace to set a new record for striking people out.
That's how you get back into a race, when you fall 18 games under 500. Pitching has kept the Rays afloat and gotten them right back in it.
Last year that record was set by the Detroit Tigers, and the Rays look like they're going to break it this year. The Detroit staff with an all-time strikeout record. Scherzer, Verlander, and others. Anibal Sanchez. Stephen Drew foul tips it into the glove of Molina. Ball in his strike. Stephen Drew, a former first-round pick. The Diamondbacks back in 2004. Out of Florida State. Played for Mike Martin. Inside, jumps back out of the way. 2 balls and a strike. Fouled back. Now, we mentioned that Hellickson had surgery, but to his elbow. It wasn't Tommy John surgery. It was loose bodies, bone chips floating around in there. Every once in a while they'll lock up, and you can get irritation of the ulnar nerve. Actually, I had that. I had the bone chips taken out of my elbow.
Yeah, I've had pitchers that have had that surgery that make a necklace out of the bone chips afterwards. Make a little bracelet or a necklace.
Wow.
Take the loose bodies and keep them as a souvenir.
2-2 pitch on the way, and it is in there for call strike 3. So the leadoff walk to Beltran does not hurt Jeremy Hellickson. We played an inning and a half, and the Rays have a 1-0 lead. fans, of course, will recognize this. July 9th, 2011. Derek Jeter homers off David Price for his 3,000th career hit and goes 5 for 5 in a Yankee win over the Tampa Bay Rays. You'll be seeing that many times in the future. The captain with his 3,000th hit, a home run in front of a jam-packed crowd at Yankee Stadium.
Yeah, I don't think Derek likes the DH role very much. You can see he's a little perturbed. He's bored. Used to being out there at shortstop, being involved.
Escobar swings and misses, strike one. Yunel Escobar, the Rays shortstop.
Yeah, there's a real art to DHing. You know, your former teammate of yours, Lee May, and of course I played with Hal McRae, one of the great DHs of all time.
Ball is fouled off. In fact, the last 3 years of my career, I was primarily DH. And you know, I had to get used to it because you got too much time on your hands. And what you do is, if you think about your at bats, that's not going to work. Of course, when you're playing every day and you're in the field, you don't have time to think about your at bats. You have to go to the field and play your position and know where you are, know who's hitting, know how the pitcher's throwing, and then you come up and worry about your at bat. Splitter in the dirt. It's a ball at 2 strikes to Escobar. But if you think about your hitting all the time, it's going to drive you crazy. And as Derek was saying, he says, I don't know how people do this every day. Well, they do pay you to do it. Let's put it that way. And pretty well. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Line drive, snared by Prado. That ball held up just long enough for Prado to get to it.
Yeah, Kuroda's going to feature a slider here, and just enough off the end of the bat. You see a little hump in that line drive. Hence the humpback line drive that gives Prado just enough time to go over and snag it.
As we mentioned yesterday, was Prado's first game at second base today. Of course, being his second, made some nice plays today. Vince Belnome takes a pitch for a called strike. He was called up yesterday. He's been up 3 different times now with the Rays this year. He's looking for his first major league hit. Those are his numbers at AAA. 9 homers, 41 runs batted in. And that pitch is low. One thing I noticed about that, the average was 241, but the on-base percentage was 360, which tells you he's got a pretty good eye and can work his way on base. That'll help him get called up to the big leagues. Ball is hit in the air to center field for Ellsbury. And Belnome still looking for his first major league hit. That's out number 2. Fans, follow every Yankee game with MLB.com at bat at your favorite mobile phone or tablet. Get live look-ins, instant replay, score, stats, audio, free on MLB.tv, game of the day and more. Download on the App Store or visit Yankees.com today. Here's Jose Molina. And he'll swing and miss for strike 1. Molina has 36 hits this year, 2 of them for extra bases.
It's been a tough year offensively, obviously, for Jose Molina, whose value comes on the other side of the ball. And a lot of statistics show him to be, always perennially one of the best receivers and catchers in the game. Throwing, blocking balls.
Framing pitches.
Incredible framer of pitches. That's how you stay in the big leagues when you're hitting 188.
1 ball and 2 strikes.
I really think Molina did such a good job for the Yankees in 2009. I mentioned it yesterday on the telecast, and we talked about it. Catching A.J. Burnett.
Not easy to do.
Nobody could get something going with A.J. Burnett, but it was Jose Molina in 2009 that really developed a rapport with him. It was a big part of that Yankee championship in 2009 was Jose Molina. Much to the dismay of Jorge Posada, who didn't like sitting the bench.
Slow roller to second for Prado. He has time and throws out Molina, and it's a 1-2-3 inning for Rocky Kuroda. We played 2, 1-0. The Rays lead it. Yes Network, your best fan photo using hashtag YesFanPhoto for a chance to have it shown during the game. And it's brought to you by AT&T. Martin Prado will lead it off for the Yankees in the 3rd inning. They are down by a score of 1-0 on our Audi A3 scoreboard. The Rays picked up a run in the 1st on 2 hits and a ground out. Jeremy Hellickson, we mentioned 4-1 in his career against the Yankees. Faced Prado, who hit the big hit yesterday for one of the 2 big hits for the Yankees. Prado with a 2-run home run in the 2nd inning gave the Yankees the initial 2-0 lead. Fouls this one back to our right and out of play for strike 1. Prado began the season as a .293 career hitter. One thing we've noticed since he's been here, he likes the fastball up and he likes it in. Very quick on the pitches in. Changeup is low for a ball, 1-1.
Trying to look at Prado's batting stance, and try to compare him. Who does he remind you of? And I kind of think I'm thinking back in the Milwaukee days, Sixto Lizcano a little bit.
Sixto. That's going back.
That's blast from the past. You're gonna have to Google that name if you're a youngster out there. But
I played against Sixto.
Yeah, it's kind of the way you compare players. He's kind of like this guy stylistically. You do that with pitchers too. Hitters, I hear hitters talk about pitchers. Well, he kind of throws like this guy.
On the changeup, a swing and a miss, 2-2. Sixto was a pretty good hitter.
He was.
He's a good player, good all-around player.
Part of Harvey's Wallbangers.
Yeah.
The Brew Crew.
Anytime you bring up a name from the past, it sets them in motion in the truck.
A little history lesson here today.
The 2-2 pitch, and it's fouled off by Prado.
Harvey's Wallbangers. I think that was Ralph Kiner described them. He said they all were low ball hitters and high ball drinkers. So it's a crazy group of guys.
Yeah, they did have some good low ball hitters. I'll say that. Cecil Cooper, good low fastball hitter. Let's see what happens here with Prado leading off for the Yankees in the 3rd. And he fouls it off. Pitch is hit hard, line to the shortstop Escobar, and there's one out. Prado hit it on the nose, but he's retired. Time for today's injury report, brought to you by Montefiore Medical Center, Inspired Medicine. Matt Moore for the Rays out for the season. Tommy John surgery on the left-hander, very talented left-hander, and Will Myers should be back pretty soon. He's on rehab assignment in the minor leagues, a fractured wrist. He's been out since May 30th, last year's Rookie of the Year in the American League. So one down. Brett Gardner comes up. His second trip of the day. Struck out swinging in the first inning. Starts him off with a fastball upstairs for ball one. But Hellickson has a nice, easy flowing delivery.
Both he and Alex Cobb have been tough on the Yankees. Fastball, changeups.
There's a changeup in for a strike.
Very similar styles, really, he and Alex Cobb. You see from the extreme first base side of the rubber, just kind of pick it up and put it down, and not a lot of push off with the back leg, but that was a changeup. So very much a delivery built for control as opposed to power.
That misses. 2-1. Now, one thing I note, the difference between the changeups in Hellickson and Cobb's. Cobb's has a little more break to it. Kind of fades down and away. Hellickson relying strictly on the lack of speed to throw the hitter off.
Yeah, that's a good point. Hellickson's more of a true changeup, and Cobb more of a splitter, really.
Which to me is a little bit more difficult to hit because not only is it slower, it's also moving away from you. Gardner takes, and that hits the outside corner. That's the fastball at 89. And that will level the count at 2-2. Jeremy Hellickson, born in Iowa. One of the few current players from Iowa. 2-2 pitch, hit on the ground slowly. Lonely ranges to his right, flips to Hellickson, covered, and there are two down. Yes, the most famous player from Iowa is Bob Feller, Hall of Famer, former Cleveland Indian great.
Yeah, that's as good as it gets.
Yeah,
Bob Feller. He pitched in the big leagues when he was 15.
Here's Derek Jeter with 2 outs and nobody on, and once again the fans showing their respect for the Yankee captain. Derek reached on an error by Longoria in the first inning. Hit in the air, a lazy fly ball to center field for Jennings. He's got it, and the Yankees go quietly 1-2-3 in the third. On to the bottom half of the inning. It's 1-0 Tampa Bay. The hottest collectibles of the season is Joe Girardi Bobblehead Night, the final one of the 2014 Collectibles Series presented by AT&T. And that's for the first 18,000 guests in attendance. For tickets, log on to Yankees.com, visit the Yankee Stadium ticket window, Yankees clubhouse shops, or call Ticketmaster at 877-469-9849. Now, also on this upcoming homestand, beginning on Tuesday, as part of MLB's initiative to standardize security procedures at all Major League parks, for the start of the 2015 season, metal detectors will be added at various entries to Yankee Stadium beginning on Tuesday, the Tuesday game against the Houston Astros. And of course, Major League Baseball cooperating with the Homeland Security to standardize security practices across the game, and that will be in addition to bag checks that they already do at Yankee Stadium. So metal detectors at various entries to Yankee Stadium, and not only for the remainder of the season, that is going to be standardized for the future. And the pitch is low to Kiermaier as he leads it off. On our Audi A3 scoreboard, it's 1-0 Tampa Bay. Kiermaier 2 for 6 on this series, and he fouls one out of play. We've seen Kiermaier's defense in right field. It's excellent. Now, he seems to be one of those young players. If his bat ever catches up to his ability to play defense, the Rays will have themselves an excellent player. But they might also have a problem with the numbers in the outfield. You know, Will Myers is coming back, and he was Rookie of the Year last year. He's a guy who was batting fourth in their lineup. Kiermaier, a little chopper, and it's going to go foul. So somebody's going to have to start DHing or ride the pine for a while. Kiermaier has been cool of late. For a while, his average was over 300. He's dropped 30-something points. Now into the 270s.
I think the Rays could really use a power infusion. We mentioned yesterday, you see Brian McCann probably got a little bit of dirt in his eye on that foul ball that went straight down.
Every once in a while, something will kick up the ball in the dirt. And McCann now will have the head athletic trainer Stevie Donahue come out and check him. And he'll probably a little eye wash.
Yeah, there you go. Literally.
And Stevie working over the Yankee catcher. And a reminder, this copyrighted telecast is presented by the authority of the New York Yankees and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the New York Yankees. Pitch is fouled back by Kiermaier. Usually when there's a slight delay in the game, that's when we read the disclaimer. Yeah.
And Stevie Donahue was trying to disseminate a little rock out of Brian McCann's eye.
2-2 on Kiermaier. He's leading off for the Rays here in the third. They lead 1-0. Final game of a 3-game series, which stands at 1 apiece. Chopper to the right side. Prado's been busy. Gets a Sunday hop and throws out Kiermaier for out number 1. Prado has 3 assists and 1 putout this afternoon. Now back to the top of the order, and Desmond Jennings, who struck out swinging to lead off the game for the Rays in the bottom of the first. And the first pitch is low and away for a ball.
You know, Kenny, we mentioned Bob Feller. You know, Woody Fryman called, and I got a little correction. Bob Feller was 17 years old when he made his major league debut. Joe Nuxhall was 15 years old.
Yeah, Joe Nuxhall came up with the Cincinnati Reds.
A product of the war. A lot of the
back in the 40s. Yeah.
A lot of the Major League Baseball players joined the service, including guys like Yogi Berra. Yogi Berra actually part of D-Day.
1-1 pitch. Jennings hits a hopper to third. Headley plays the tough hop and then throws him out, and they're 2 down. Headley was playing about even with the bag and got that one just off the turf. Zobrist got it started for the Rays in the first inning. He had a 1-out single and eventually scored the run. That's the only run of the game thus far.
We talked about him being so hot lately, and around the trade deadline, all the teams were calling for Zobrist. Everybody wanted Zobrist. Any contender, he's so valuable. Switch hitter, play everywhere. I'll give you these numbers on Zobrist here, Kenny, real quick. He's making $7.5 million this year. He has an option next year for $7.5 million. In his career, he's got over a 33 career WAR, which combines defensive and offensive and base running metrics. On the open market, that'd be worth over $150 million. So you talk about undervalued. For the type of production that Ben Zobrist has brought to the Rays since 2008, or this year for that matter, just about every year. He's a top shelf defender everywhere he plays, a switch hitter, making $7.5 million a year. That is the definition of undervalued.
It leads you to believe his time will come, and it's up to the Rays to come through, and they probably don't, because they trade their guys are about ready to score the big contracts.
Well, they've got an option next year too. It's a team option for $7.5, so they could keep him again next year.
Pitch is fouled off. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Over the last 3 years, from 2011 to 2013, not including this year, he leads all switch hitters with extra base hits, 189. Leads all major leagues in doubles, 121. Second to Jose Reyes in overall hits. Well, that's, this is a $20 million a year player that's really been undervalued his whole career with the Rays.
And maybe you can see why he wasn't traded. They know they're getting more than they're getting their money's worth with him. Pitch is lined to Headley, and that will do it. The Rays go in order as Zobrist is retired. We're going to move to the 4th inning. The Yankees need some runs. They're down 1-0. New York State Smokers Quit Line Quiz. Call 1-866-NY-QUIT for free help today. Tampa Bay changed their name to the Rays in 2008. Prior to that, what was the last baseball team to change their name without relocating? Whoa.
That's a good one.
Oh, it's another good one. Ryan Rutherford on his game. Ryan's throwing those stumpers in there. Change their name without relocating. Okay. I might have one.
I know the basketball team, Washington, changed it from the Bullets to the Wizards.
Yeah.
That's the wrong sport.
On our Lincoln scoreboard, it's 1-0 Rays. There's a football team getting a lot of notoriety. They want them to change their name. Here's Ellsbury. Going to lead it off for the Yankees here in the 4th. The last team to change their name without relocating. Swing and a miss on a changeup, and it's a ball and a strike. It seems he gets ahead fastball and then works the changeup in there, looking for his first hit of the trip. 0 for 16. Teixeira's on deck and Beltran to follow. Here in the Yankee half of the 4th inning. On the corner. One and two on Ellsbury. And he swings and misses on a changeup and is struck out. Now, Bill Bolin is a benevolent sort. He's our producer. And he's going to give a hint to the audience on the Smokers Quit Line quiz. He says the name change happened in the 60s. So that kind of blew mine out of the water. So that's. Teixeira has popped up. Popped out to Longoria. Slow curve drops in there for a strike. Hellickson has an array of tantalizing soft stuff. Another slow breaking ball outside, and it's 1-1.
Well, he's throwing the ball very well here today and over his last couple of starts, so he's fully back and recovered from that offseason surgery.
Broken bat pop up to the right side. Escobar drifts back a few steps, calls for a fair catch, and makes it. That's out number 2. So 2 outs, nobody on for Carlos Beltran. 8 Yankees in a row have been retired by Jeremy Hellickson. And I can only count for 1 hard hit ball. That was the line drive off the bat of Prado to Escobar. Strike 1 call to Beltran. Beltran drew a walk leading off the 2nd inning, but did not move from first. In fact, he's the last Yankee to reach base. Yankees still looking for their first hit. And that is in there for a strike. 0-2. Ball is hit high in the air to right field and fairly deep, but Kiermaier has a beat on it. Just in front of the warning track, he makes the catch, and 9 Yankees in a row have been retired by Jeremy Hellickson. It's on to the bottom of the 4th inning with the Rays leading by 1. quiz, and the question is a good one. Tampa Bay changed their name to the Rays in 2008. Prior to that, what was the last baseball team to change their name without relocating? And you know, the one I thought of, but the team did relocate. It was Seattle Pirates. They went to Milwaukee. Pilots went to Milwaukee and became the Brewers.
Rusty Staub played for that team. The Grand Larage was on this team.
Oh, I got you. All right. The Colt 45s became the Astros.
There you go.
Yeah. Matt Joyce checks his swing and takes it outside for ball one. Rusty was 19 years old.
There you go.
Yeah.
The Grand Larage was. Speaking of which, the.
You know what she's thinking? I'm going to act like I don't know this person. They probably came together.
That's it. Got some popcorn stuck in those teeth there. Wait.
Joyce had a single. We can see that the gentleman's married there. It popped up to the right side. Teixeira's calling for it, and the Yankee first baseman has it for the out. So 1 up and 1 down here in the 4th inning. Yeah, Rusty Staub was 19 years old when he first came up with the Colt 45s. And of course, Houston came into existence when the Mets did in 1962 in expansion. And in those days, when the National League expanded, they can only pick players from the National League. When expansion came in the future, you could pick players from both leagues. Longoria takes a pitch for a called strike. Longoria grounded out to second, but in the process picked up an RBI. His 65th of the year, and it's 1-0 because of that ground ball to second.
I guess you could argue that the Angels have changed their name, but not really the Angels part. It's been the California Angels, and the Anaheim Angels, and now the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim. So been a few changes there, but it's still the Angels.
You know what? I think they dropped the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim. I think it's Los Angeles Angels now. And I think the people of Anaheim weren't happy about that.
Yeah, I mean, I like the old California Angels. Why not take the whole state?
There's a call strike, and it's 2-2.
The battle for L.A., though, obviously very important there.
High in the air to right field. This is going to chase Beltran back, and he turns it to warning track and puts it away for out number 2. And James Loney will be coming to the plate.
Let's go ahead and take a look at the Jeep hitter scouting report for James Loney, and he has been tough on the Yanks since he's come over. A .347 batting average, 51 for 147. That's second only to Miguel Cabrera, who has a .358 career batting average against the Yankees, and gap to gap we've seen him line drive hitter, tough out, and very durable. He's averaged 157 games played since 08 and 940 games over that period that he's played in, and that's 6th most in the American League, and add on to that another 121 this year.
Well, the Rays re-signed him. He was a free agent at the end of last year. Line drive, missed the gap, but it's foul. And a home run that Loney hit on Friday night. He doesn't hit all that many home runs, but he's a good line drive hitter. That was his first home run at home since June the 7th. One off Roenis Elias of Seattle. Back on June the 7th. Only 2 home runs at home for him this year. Pitch is fouled off. His approach is sort of like he hits back through the middle, and the ball's a little in, he'll pull it. A little away, he goes the other way with it. And we mentioned yesterday he finally struck out. Shane Green got him. He hadn't struck out in 55 plate appearances, which was a career high for Loney. Kuroda tried to pick off the inside corner and missed. A 92-mile-an-hour fastball.
Yeah, we talked about strikeout hitters. You mentioned Joe DiMaggio, and his career home runs versus career strikeouts. Loney kind of fits that profile a little bit. Not Joe D, but
great stop by Headley. The headlong dive, and he comes up with it, and Loney is robbed of what could have been an extra base hit. The Rays go in order here in the 4th. On to the 5th inning. Headley lays out and comes up with it. Still 1-0 Rays. An excellent play by the Yankee third baseman. Score 1-0. Brian McCann's going to lead it off as the Yankees try and get something going against Jeremy Hellickson, who's retired 9 Yankees in a row, has not given up a hit here as we go to the 5th. Hellickson is the first pitcher to beat the Yankees in each of his first 4 seasons in the major league since Jared Weaver. And then if he wins today, he would do it in 5 consecutive seasons. The last pitcher to do that was David Wells. McCann takes, and he's going to take a strike. Wells going back to 1987 through 1991. Beat the Yankees at least once each one of those 5 years.
That's why George Steinbrenner went and got him, right?
Thinking the same thing. Yep.
Make that guy a Yankee.
Get him over here.
If he played well against the Yankees, George took note.
Swing and a miss. A ball and 2 strikes. Hellickson keeping these Yankee hitters off balance thus far in the ball game. The Yankees looking for their first hit. Outside on the changeup, 2-2. The Yankees have had 2 base runners. Beltran had a walk in the second, and Jeter reached on an error in the first. In the inner center, Jennings is there, and that is an out. 10 in a row now retired by Hellickson. Out in front of a changeup.
Yeah, he just takes your legs away from you, just enough. McCann actually just missing a couple of pitches here, but When you get him out in front off the off-speed pitch, you just lose a little bit of leverage from your lower half. And as a pitcher, that's what you want to do. You want to try to just take a little bit of that power away.
You saw Jeter do the same thing in the third inning. Headley takes a curve for a called strike.
You see the changeup down and away, and just because he's out in front, his lower half got out in front just a little too much. So therefore, that's the power zapper. You lose the leverage of the ground with your legs.
Just a little bit low to Headley, and it's a ball and a strike.
Sort of like golf, you know, the golf coaches talk about from the ground up is the golf swing, similar to pitching and hitting. It's really from the ground up is where you get your leverage and your power.
Another off-speed breaking ball in for a strike, 1-2.
You know, and as a pitcher, if you can disrupt that leverage from the ground up, then you can get those kind of swings off the end of the bat, lazy fly balls, ground balls that are rolled over.
Every once in a while, sneak a fastball in there. That one was high for a ball, 91 miles an hour. Hellickson up to 70 pitches here in the fifth. Got 3 strikeouts along the way today. Now he's gone to a full count. He's also thrown 2 consecutive fastballs. Stephen Drew's next. Foul tip and held by Molina for the strikeout. Second time that Headley has gone out on strikes. And that's the 4th strikeout for Jeremy Hellickson.
Well, just like you said, Kenny, every now and then you'll sneak a fastball right by you. It wasn't the location. It was the sequence that got there. Nothing special about this 90-mile-an-hour fastball in terms of location or velocity. Just the fact that it was set up so well. Had Headley behind it.
Check that. It's 5th strikeout for Hellickson. 2 outs. Stephen Drew to the plate. He was strikeout number 3. And he takes a pitch high and away for ball 1. Changeup swung on and missed. I almost believe that he's thrown more changeups than fastballs today.
Yeah, it's almost an even split, and then an occasional curveball for show.
There's a fastball, and it's just a little high and away. 2-1. He hasn't shaken off Molina very often.
See him just kind of stare. No shake of the head. He just stared off Molina twice to get to another sign. Which was my personal favorite. You know, I love doing that. I didn't want to give any information to the hitter.
That you're shaking off.
Yes, yeah. I didn't want to let him know anything. You could just stare at a catcher like Molina and he'll go to another sign. See him staring, no shake of the head, but he got to the second sign.
Popped up, and this is going to be out of play. You know, sometimes you're right about the information given to hitters, because sometimes you see pitchers just shake, shake, and shake. And what that told me, they're coming back to the first sign anyway. This is going to be a fastball.
Right.
They're just trying to create confusion. And the smarter hitters figure that out.
See Hellickson just hang in there, and Molina right with him.
The 3-2 pitch. Fouled back and out of play, and it was a 3-2 changeup.
I mean, Hellickson's got an easy repertoire for a catcher to call. I mean, it's basically either a fastball or a changeup. Usually the curves come early in the count for show. But in this situation, you can narrow it down to fastball changeup. So if Hellickson stares, Molina knows what to go to.
This is going to be a fastball. And it's high for ball 4, and he walked it. So with 2 outs, Stephen Drew works his way on, just the 3rd Yankee base runner of the afternoon. And we'll go to the number 9 hitter, Martin Prado, who probably hit the hardest ball of the day for the Yankees when he lined out to Escobar in the 3rd inning. Not much for Yankee fans to cheer about this afternoon. Still looking for their first hit. We're in the 5th inning. And Prado takes a pitch for a called strike.
And yesterday, early in this ball game, this was the blow that the Yankees are looking for. Actually got a lead early in this game, 2-0. And the emotion from Martin Prado. A little frustration coming out with that swing as well.
Strike 2. Back-to-back fastballs to Prado.
Molina kind of setting up in, reaches over, outer third, right at the knees. As I said before, Molina catches that low strike as well as anybody I've ever seen. Hardly ever see his glove dip down low. He's so strong and firm catching the low strike.
Prado fouls one back. Speaking of Molina, his brother's about ready to return from the disabled list. Of course, the all-star with the St. Louis Cardinals, Yadier Molina, was out with a torn thumb ligament, sliding, I think, headlong into third base in the game in St. Louis earlier this year. And the Cardinals are certainly, he'll be welcome back to the lineup. One of the best catchers in the game, maybe the best catcher in the game. I guess they mentioned he and Buster Posey of the Giants as the two best. Prado behind the count, 0-2, and just inside. Hellickson was walking off the mound. Thought he had strike 3. Of course, there's one other Molina brother as well. Benji, now the first base coach of the Texas Rangers, 13 years, 2 Gold Gloves. Jose, 2-time world champion, and 6 Gold Gloves for Yadier in 11 seasons.
The Flying Molindas, right?
When they're all done, they should open up a catching school, catching instruction. They say pitching and catching, the 2 fastest way to the big leagues. Of course, 2 of the toughest jobs, too. A long hold by Hellickson. Now he deals. Pitch is drilled down the left field line, but foul. Once again, a Yankee too far out in front of a off-speed pitch. Just a loud strike.
Well, you're right, Kenny. That's a changeup. Even though it looks like a fastball, Hellickson kind of got away with one there, even though he got it inside enough at 79 miles an hour, and Prado around it, hooking it foul. See a lot more right-handed pitchers that'll throw changeups to righties down and in off the plate. That one stayed there. Prado a little too quick.
Drew it first with 2 down. Prado lines this one fair down the third base line. It's going to be in there for an extra base hit. Drew rounding second, on his way to third. Getting it back in quickly is Joyce. And it's a 2-out double for Prado. And the Yankees have runners at second and third. That's the Yankees' first hit of the ball game.
Well, this one's a fastball off of the previous one. That's a changeup, and that one is a good pitch. And Prado very quick, beats him to the punch, keeps it fair. Excellent hitting from Prado right there. To break up the no-no that Hellickson had.
Prado had the first hit for the Yankees yesterday. That was the 2-run homer in the second inning. Today it's a double in the 5th inning. Now back to the top of the order at Brett Gardner, who has struck out and grounded out. He's 0 for 2. All season long, Gardner's been one of the best Yankee hitters with runners in scoring position. Second and third, 2 outs. First pitch is a call, strike 1. Gardner currently is the best Yankee hitter with runners in scoring position, 291, 1 point better than Jacoby Ellsbury. One ball and one strike. Yankees' best opportunity of the day has presented itself here in the 5th.
And Hellickson's pitch count creeping up towards 90 pitches here in the 5th.
A 2-out walk followed by a double. Joe Madden, pitching coach Jim Hickey talking things over. Hellickson slowing things down with men on base. Slow breaking ball drops in for a strike. 1-2.
Well located too.
I don't think I've seen a Yankee take a swing at that pitch today. They've taken them all for strikes. Yankee fans rooting for a hit. The Rays fans rooting for the 3rd out. In the dirt, the ball gets away from Molina. Drew started but then retreats. Ball did not get far enough away. He came about a third of the way down the line and then went back to third base for safety.
Indeed he did, as he had legitimate thoughts about making a dash and thought the better of it. And that's the right decision here. Hellickson was at home plate at that point, and Molina had kept it enough in front of him to easily make that play had Drew gone.
So the count has moved to 2-2 with 2 outs and 2 off. This is as noisy as it has been here today at Tropicana Field. Another good crowd on hand. Gardner hits one through the middle into center field for a base hit. Drew scores. Here comes Prado, and the Yankees take a 2-1 lead. Brett Gardner has been the best hitter for the Yankees with runners in scoring position, and he does it again here in the 5th. So a 2-out rally, a walk, a double, followed by a single, and the Yankees have taken the lead.
Well, the first Yankee hitter that stayed on a changeup all day, right back up the middle. 81-mile-an-hour changeup, well located from Hellickson. Even better job by Brett Gardner to stay back finally on one of these changeups. Drive it up the box for a 2-out, 2 RBI single.
As we look at it on Yesmo, brought to you by your Mercedes-Benz Tri-State dealer. And the Yankee fans, well, they're rooting for that hit, and they got it. Gardner delivers. And he drives home Drew and Prado. And he also sends Jim Hickey out to the mound to talk to Hellickson. His pitch count is up to 90 now.
Well, even though it's early in this game, really right in the middle of this game, how many times have you seen a pitcher give up a no-hitter and then give up the lead right afterwards? And it's easy to have a little bit of an emotional letdown, even though it's still only the 5th inning. But quite a run for Hellickson now on the losing end at this point.
Here's Derek Jeter, who has reached on an error and flied out to center field. Let's see if Gardner's aggressive on the bases here. Not going. Pitch to Jeter is a call strike.
Clearly perturbed with that call.
Well, the Yankees have had a string of at-bats in the 20s without a hit with runners in scoring position in 2 outs. The last couple of days, Got one from Jeter last night to win the game, and got one from Gardner here today to put them in the lead. Strike 2 on Jeter. He's going for a little walk here.
Well, no question, that's right down the pipe. I think Derek saw Brett Gardner kind of break early in his peripheral vision, and Gardner almost broke too soon and then had to stop trying to get a jump.
Gardner's going. The pitch is hit on the ground on the left side and in the left field for a base hit. Gardner rounds second. He's on his way to third as Jeter has himself a base hit with 2 down.
Gardner's easily going to make it. Jeter on 0-2. Gets something off speed, maybe a changeup, and easily rolls over it and hits it where they ain't. Gardner's going to have no problem cruising on into third base.
First and third, 2 outs. A fly to center, a strikeout, a walk, a double, and a pair of singles. And the Yankees have a 2-1 lead. They might not be done yet as Ellsbury comes to the plate. Jacoby trying to break an 0 for 17 on this road trip. Ellsbury jumps ahead on the count. 1 ball and no strikes.
See, the Elias Bureau gave us a note on Ellsbury. This is the 3rd hitless streak of at least 15 at-bats or longer this season. He was 0 for 15 in May, 0 for 17 streak in June, and now this recent streak.
Pitch is hit into left field for a base hit, and he breaks the streak. He is now 1 for his last 1. Gardner scores, and it's 3-1 Yankees. So some 2-out magic for the Yankees here in the 5th. They've put 3 runs up on the board and still are threatening.
Well, good job by Ellsbury there, just staying back, gonna hit the ball the other way the whole time. That's a great approach against Hellickson. Try to pull maybe the off-speed stuff, but stay back and hit the fastball the other way, and that's going to get Jim Hickey, the pitching coach, on the horn. And the wheels are starting to fall off after Hellickson had held the Yankees hitless up to this inning.
For 4 2/3 innings, and now he's given up 4 hits in a row. And here's Teixeira, who's popped out twice. Swing and a miss on a changeup, strike 1. The Rays have a left-hander warming up in their bullpen. Swing and a miss, strike 2. Another off-speed pitch. Jeff Beliveau. Look out, up and in. Teixeira spins out of the way, and it's a ball and 2 strikes.
Well, your signature call is dead on here, because this is a lookout. Get out of the way.
That's one way to do it. Go in that spin cycle.
Yes, that's the old school way to do it, right? The proper way to get out of the way of an inside fastball.
If you're going to get hit in the back. Pitch is hit on the ground to the right side for Loney. He'll step on the bag, but the Yankees break out. After 2 outs, there was a walk to Drew, a double by Prado, a single by Gardner, a base hit by Jeter, and finally a base hit by Ellsbury, and the Yankees lead 3-1. by Sin City, A Dame to Kill For, in theaters everywhere on Friday. And by your Tri-Honda dealers. Hurry to your local Tri-Honda dealer for great deals on the 2014 models. Brendan Ryan gesturing in the Yankee dugout. Hiroki Kuroda now with a lead as he goes to the bottom of the 5th inning. The Yankees 3 runs on 4 hits last inning against Jeremy Hellickson breaking out. And now lead 3-1. Here's Yunel Escobar. He will lead it off. He lined out to second his first time. And he swings and misses, strike 1. With Kuroda on the mound, there is a new Japanese sensation pitching in Japan. And we've seen Masahiro Tanaka come over after pitching for the Rakuten Eagles. Pitching for the Nippon Ham Fighters is a pitcher named Shohei Ohtani. The ball is hit on the ground towards short. Drew has it and throws Escobar out. Now, supposedly Ohtani can throw 100 miles an hour, and he has a great breaking ball. And I think he also has a deal with his team that if he wants to come over to the United States, he doesn't have to be posted. So a lot of major league teams are following this young man. He's in his early 20s. But there's one other factor. He's also an outfielder and a pretty good hitter. So he throws right-handed, but he hits left-handed. And on certain days when he doesn't pitch, he plays the outfield. So it'll be interesting to follow Shohei Ohtani, and eventually if he ends up here in the big leagues, let's see what he can do here, whether it's pitching or playing the outfield. There's a pitch outside for a ball, 1-1.
Very interesting.
Vince Belnome at the plate.
I think, obviously Kuroda is one of the all-time great pitchers to come over from Japan and pitch over here in the major leagues.
Popped up by Belnome. Who's going to call for it? It's going to be Drew, and that's out number 2. And speaking of Kuroda and Ohtani, we're going to go to Meredith Morakovitz, who has an update on Tanaka.
Well, Kenny, good news on Masahiro Tanaka. As I told you yesterday, he threw his first bullpen since suffering that slight UCL tear. It was the first time he had thrown off the mound. And pitching coach Larry Rothschild said it was great that he got through yesterday, but it'd be more important to see how he woke up and felt today. And I asked Joe Girardi how Tanaka was feeling, and he said that's actually the first thing that I said when I came into the clubhouse today. How's Masahiro Tanaka doing? He felt just fine. That's good news. He'll throw a bullpen next week as we get out of this inning here, and he'll start featuring some of his breaking pitches.
Well, that's good news all around. Good news as we go to the 6th inning. The Yankees are leading the Rays by a score of 3-1. Thank you, Meredith. Today here at Tampa Bay, Tropicana Field is ALS Association and the Awareness Day. And it's John Collins, who was the president of the Florida chapter, throwing out the first pitch. And a reminder that every 90 minutes, one person diagnosed with ALS. In about the same 90 minutes, a person passes away from the deadly illness. And if you want to get involved in New York, the ALS-NY.org for more information. And we've seen the Ice Bucket Challenge going around the United States and North America. And so far through the Ice Bucket Challenge, they have raised over $11 million.
It's a fantastic number. And that ALS New York chapter is a fantastic organization, too. Doreen Gordon's the president of the chapter. And, of course, Chris Pendergast, an ALS victim, is part of the Ride for Life out on Long Island. It's part of this. And so many good chapters around the nation. The New York chapter as good as any, as David DeJesus accepts his challenge on the Ice Bucket. And that's not going away anytime soon. You know, you and I are going to be doing that pretty soon here, Kenny.
There's no cure, and they don't even know what causes ALS at this point. So raise as much money as you can. And earlier this week, there's Brett Gardner doing the honors for Sean Kelly. He accepts the challenge. It's got to be quite exhilarating, to say the least.
Yeah, Sean Kelly's grandfather was a victim of ALS.
Carlos Beltran gets a new pitcher for the Rays. Jeff Beliveau gets Beltran to fly out to center field, and there's one down here in the 6th inning. Now, we do want to mention one more name. There's a young lady here, big New York Yankee fan, I've been afflicted with ALS, and that's Lisa Massaro, and we certainly want to wish her the best. As you're looking at Belivau's numbers, this is his 12th game. And you can see those T-shirts. They just strike out ALS. Of course, it goes all the way back to Lou Gehrig, the great Yankee, afflicted with that disease and eventually passed away. One out. Here's Brian McCann facing Beliveau. Yankees up 3-1. We're in the 6th inning. Trying to make it 2 out of 3 against the Rays before moving home or flying back home. Off day tomorrow. Then the Houston Astros will come into Yankee Stadium, one of the most improved teams in the major leagues. McCann hits one to the left side and foul. In fact, Houston has won as many games this year as they won all of last year. So definitely a young and improving team. Now with 2 strikes on McCann, the shift is going to move over a little bit towards the left. You can see Escobar shifting to the left side. Swing and a miss. And Beliveau picks up his first strikeout. 2 down for the Yankees here in the 6th.
Molina's setting up a way, and Beliveau goes up and in. Works out just fine for Beliveau.
Beliveau in relief of Jeremy Hellickson. Curveball is low from Beliveau, left-hander from Providence, Rhode Island. The Rays got him from the Texas organization in exchange for cash considerations. Ball's hit hard but foul by Headley. Headley's looking for contact this afternoon. He's had 2 strikeouts swinging against Hellickson. In fact, it was following the Headley strikeout that the roof fell in, so to speak, for Hellickson.
Yeah, all that with 2 outs.
Yep. Ball is hit hard, and it's a base hit. Chase Headley with a 2-out single here in the 6th inning.
Well, even with the shift, With 3 infielders on the left side, Headley cuts off this cutter. Rolls over the wrist and finds a hole over there somewhere on the left-hand side.
Looked like a ball through the 7-10 split, didn't it?
Yes.
Here's Stephen Drew. There was Drew's base on balls with 2 outs and nobody on last inning that got it going for the Yankees. There's a check over at first on Headley. Prado followed with a double, which was the first Yankee hit. Gardner singled home the 2 runners, put the Yankees in the lead. Jeter had a base hit, kept the inning going, and Ellsbury had a hit to make it 3-1. Pitch broke off the glove of Molina. I don't know if it hit the home plate umpire. I think it did. That kept it from going back to the screen.
Yeah, he's not happy about it either.
I think it might have been a cross-up.
Molina was looking for a cutter. Oh, geez. Enough said. Not a happy camper right now.
A cutter that didn't cut. Mark Rippinger. Got to take a few deep breaths here. And while he's recovering, let's take a look at Tuesday's starting pitchers, brought to you by Verizon Fios, making life more entertaining with America's fastest, most reliable internet. That's powerful. Brett Oberholzer will get the start for the Houston Astros, and the left-hander Chris Capuano will go for the Yankees. Coverage begins at 6:30 p.m. on the Yes Network. Game 7 p.m. on My 9.
Oh, smile on the face. All is okay.
Anybody who's been behind the plate catching or umpiring.
If I was an umpire, I'd smack Molina in the back of the head. You got to make that play. Come on. Molina, it's not my fault. It's his fault.
He crossed me up. Yeah. Well, Drew's at bat's going to continue with a count of 1 ball and no strikes. Make that 2-0 to Stephen Drew. Drew has struck at, drawn that base on balls to get the Yankee rally started. Ray's bullpen is warming up again. There's a throw of the first. And Headley is back. Now a right-hander throwing up in the bullpen. Kirby Yates, we saw him warm up briefly yesterday. He did not come into the ball game. Another throw to first base.
It's coming from the dugout. Those throws are called from the dugout as Jose Molina, the catcher, looks into the dugout to get the signs, and that's just a stall tactic to give Kirby Yates a little more throws to warm up.
Because if Beliveau does not get Drew, it's going to be his last man. Looks like he got him. Ball is popped up to the right side. Zobrist makes the catch for the final out here in the 6th inning. Yankees pick up a hit and nothing else. Bottom of the 6th inning, Yankees lead 3-1. Yes, don't miss WB Mason presents the Joe Girardi Show as the skipper talks about Michael Pineda's return to the rotation and previews the upcoming homestand against the Astros and the White Sox. Plus, Joe answers your questions. It's the new Joe Girardi Show today after the postgame, only on Yes. We told you another good crowd on hand here at Tropicana Field. Yesterday was their second sellout of the season. I don't know if we're going to go that far today, but still another good crowd. Hiroki Kuroda working with a 2-run lead, bottom of the 6th inning. Kevin Kiermaier will lead it off, the number 9 hitter. And he takes a fastball downstairs for ball 1.
Yeah, it really turned into a big weekend down here. Really, all three crowds very good.
There's a strike, and it's 1-1. I think you mentioned yesterday the Yankees leading the league in road attendance.
Once again, perennially they're always among the leaders or at the top, averaging a little over 35,000 per game on the road this year are the Yankees.
Ball is popped up on an off-speed pitch, and it's in the center field. And Ellsbury puts it away, and there's one out here in the 6th inning. Kuroda's on a bit of a roll as well.
Number 8.
He's retired 15 in a row.
Yes, just 2 hits on the day.
And they came in the 1st inning. 15 in a row and not a strikeout in the bunch. So he's kept these hitters off balance. Here's Desmond Jennings, who has struck out and grounded out. He's 0 for 2, fakes a bunt, takes a pitch for a called strike.
We were talking earlier in the game, Kenny, about Joe DiMaggio and his incredible numbers and the number of hitters that actually walk more than they strike out in today's game. And James Smith, our great statistician back in New York, said there's only 3 currently in the big leagues this year that have those numbers, more walks than strikeouts.
1-1.
Jose Bautista, Coco Crisp, and Victor Martinez are the only 3 in the major leagues that have more walks than strikeouts this year, and that's the fewest since 1879, when it took 9 balls for a walk.
How many?
9.
9 balls to draw a walk?
In 1879.
Strike 2 on Jennings. How did they ever score runs if you couldn't walk anybody?
Once upon a time, that's right.
What year was that again?
1879. According to James Smith. Who you can find on Twitter. A really good statistician and a guy that works for us at the Yes Network at home in the Yankee Stadium.
Yeah.
Great follow on Twitter at James Smith 621. And that's with a Y on the Smith part. SMYTH. I was thinking there's Jeff Quagliata, another great one that works up at the Yes Network too.
But James is digging deep, going back to 1879.
So we got you covered here. Got some great guys that work with us.
Here's the 1-2 pitch, and it just misses. 2-2 to Jennings. 1 out, nobody on here in the 6th inning. Yankees up 3-1. The count is actually 2-2. The scoreboard has 1-2. Ground ball to second for Prado. And that is out number 2. Here in the 6th. And that'll bring up Ben Zobrist with 2 outs, nobody on. He has one of the 2 Rays hits in the afternoon. And he has scored their run. He is single and lined out.
Kuroda's pitch count in excellent shape here with 2 outs in the bottom of the 6th. It'll be the 72nd pitch coming.
Ball hit on the ground, and Prado snares it, turns, fires. What a play by Prado at second base. And now 17 in a row, retired by Hiroki Kuroda. That looked like it was going to be a base hit. The 360, the throw, and it's still 3-1 Yankees. tries and call a little bullpen as Joe Madden reaches for Herbie Yates. Right-hander comes in. He's made 5 straight scoreless appearances. It's over 5 1/3 innings. He's allowed just 1 hit and 1 walk with 8 strikeouts over his last 5 appearances. And he will get Martin Prado leading off for the Yankees here in the top of the 7th inning. Prado was lined out and then lined a double into the corner in left field. Prado, Gardner, Jeter for the Yankees. They're on top by a couple of runs, 3-1 as we look at our Cadillac scoreboard. And Yates deals a fastball upstairs for ball 1. Prado might be heating up. We told you he's a career .293 hitter coming into this season. He had been 3 for 29 going into the yesterday's game in which he hit a home run. That pitch is in for a strike. He had a big home run yesterday, big double today.
Yeah, that last play he made really showed some range. That was a hard hit ball. There's no way he was going to stab that and make that play. And he did.
Breaking ball hits the corner. It's 1-2. I noticed one thing about him too in the field. He uses a little bigger glove than most second basemen use. And second basemen have a tendency to use smaller gloves because they want to get that ball out of the glove quickly on the double play. Ball hit on the ground to second. And this is Zobrist who's going to throw out Prado for out number 1 in the 7th inning. Here's the play that David Cohn was talking about.
And you're right, Kenny. That is a little bit of a bigger glove than the normal second baseman would use. He needed every inch of it.
Did we mention Joe Morgan's name today?
Not yet.
Oh, well, we just did. So anyway, he used a very tiny glove at second, barely fit over his hand. He wanted to get rid of that ball quickly.
Yeah, mainly for the turn of the double play.
One out for Brett Gardner, who had a big hit in this game for the Yankees. A 2-out, 2-run single that gave them the lead in the 5th inning. Ground ball right back through the middle. And he'll take one a little outside for ball 1. The Yankees have 5 hits in this game. 4 of them came in the 5th inning. In fact, 4 consecutive hits. Bouncing ball foul, and it's a ball and a strike.
Gardner's last at bat was so impressive, laying back on that Hellickson changeup and driving it up the middle. Really impressive because really the first 2 at bats against Hellickson in this game for Gardner were jam shots. He had pitched him in the whole game, and Gardner still patient, waited on that changeup away, drilled it up the middle for a 2-out, 2 RBI single.
Now Gardner's ahead on the count, 3 balls and a strike as he takes a 93-mile-an-hour fastball out of the strike zone. Derek Jeter's on deck. Gardner can work his way on base here. 3-1 pitch is hit in the air and hit pretty well to left center field, but Jennings has a beat on it, has good speed, runs it down for out number 2. Two outs, nobody on, and Derek Jeter will come to the plate. Now after Gardner singled to drive into 2 runs, the captain kept it going. He had a base hit through the left side, chased Gardner to third. Then Ellsbury, who's on deck, followed that with a base hit in the 5th. And that was the Yankees' 3rd run of the game. And that pitch is a called strike from Yates. Another one. Got some movement on that fastball. 0-2. One ball and 2 strikes.
Derek Jeter will be happy to get back at shortstop on Tuesday night when the Yankees return home. 2 straight days of DHing.
Just fouls that one off. Yates, a 27-year-old right-hander from Hawaii. He was born in Lahui, which I think is on the island of Kauai. Yeah, it is. I was just there a few weeks ago. Swing and a miss, strike 3. He's a long way from home, but he gets 3 outs here in the top of the 7th. Before we go to the 7th inning stretch here at Tropicana Field, we're going to stay right here and listen to the very patriotic song, God Bless America.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, please rise, remove your caps, and join Julie Williams as she performs God Bless America.
God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with the light from above. From the mountains to the prairies to the oceans white with foam. God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America, my home, sweet home.
As we get ready for our Nissan game summary, Kuroda has been excellent. 6 innings, 2 hits, 1 run, no walk, 1 strikeout. Gardner with a big 2-run single. Jacoby Ellsbury with an RBI single. Yankees leading 3-1. As we go to the bottom of the 7th inning, Kuroda has retired 17 in a row. His lone strikeout was the first batter that he faced in the game, Desmond Jennings.
He's pitching with extra rest here today as well, and he's always done very well with a little extra rest.
Cadillac scoreboard, 3-1 Yankees, bottom of the 7th. Here's Matt Joyce. And he lines one to right field, and this is going to be trouble. This ball is one hop to the wall. Joyce headed for second base, and he's on with a leadoff double here in the 7th inning. That will break the string at 17 Rays retired in a row for Hiroki Kuroda.
Trying to get a little backdoor slider over for strike one, and Joyce goes over and hooks it. One hops the wall for an easy stand-up double. Kuroda's going to have to navigate the tough part of this Rays lineup here as Evan Longoria stands in there.
Longoria's grounded to second, but also flied to right. And he'll take a pitch for a call, strike one. Getting some movement in the Yankee bullpen. Nobody is actually throwing, but the pitchers are. They can sense that alarm's going to go off pretty soon. Starting to stretch, move around.
More a function of the game than it is Kuroda's pitch count. Number 75 coming here.
Inside to Longoria. It's a ball and a strike. You can see Dellin Betances stretching. Kind of a pickoff move, but no throw from Kuroda. Prado tried to sneak in behind Matt Joyce. Third base coach Tom Foley with the warning signal. Fouled back, and it's strike two. You know, third base coaches, the runners cannot see the second baseman or shortstop behind him, so they are the ones. You can see Foley cup his hands just before the pitch and say, "You're all right," or "Get back," or whatever.
It's one of the reasons why, as you see right there, Foley outside of the third base coach's box, that Major League Baseball wants the base coaches to wear helmets because he's so close to Evan Longoria right there, and there's been talk about maybe they should even wear bigger helmets or ear flaps as well. As you see, if Evan Longoria turns on one, Foley's right in the line of fire.
And his direction is at second base. He's not looking at the hitter. Pitch is pulled foul behind Foley, and the count remains a ball and two strikes.
Well, a lot of coaches were very resistant to even wearing the type of helmets they wear now, as Longoria almost fouled that right through his legs.
Well, you saw Foley just turn as the ball was delivered to plate to follow what was going on at home plate. So there's a timing factor there. He's not always, once the ball is released by the pitcher, he's going to watch the hitter. Longoria bounces another one foul. Now, years ago, there was a third base coach for the Philadelphia Phillies. I want to know if you heard of George Foghorn Meyer. Did you ever hear him?
I remember the name, yes.
He had a voice. He didn't need to cup his hands. It was a quite appropriate nickname, Foghorn, because you could hear him all over the ballpark. Get back.
Appropriate nickname.
There have been some appropriate nicknames over the years in baseball. Prado sneaks behind Joyce again. Still no throw.
Well, Foghorn would have been barking right there.
Oh, yes, he would have. ball gets by McCann, and Joyce is going to move to third base. And we'll see how they score this. Probably a wild pitch. We'll see.
Yeah, the old splitter that stays down and gets right through the legs. Catchers hate this because McCann's in good shape, but the glove just comes up, as you see, and it gets right through his legs.
So the infield remains back. The Yankees have a 2-run lead.
Well, that's a wild pitch when it hits the dirt.
Little chopper towards third. It's going to be a foul ball. They used to say Foghorn Maya's voice was so heavy. When we yelled, "Get back," people outside the ballpark would not cross the street.
That's pretty loud.
Yeah, that's loud.
A steady diet of splitters here from Kuroda to Longoria, and he's kind of out in front of all of them. Pulled 3 or 4 balls foul to the left of the third base coach a couple of times.
Now, when would you think about running one in on his hands?
Right about now.
Let's see what they have in mind. They came with the fastball, but it was kind of down the middle. You can see that Longoria was upset that he missed it.
Yeah, they're trying to come in there. A two-seam fastball that normally Kuroda gets in there, and you can see he almost, his wrist position got around that ball a little bit and caused it to stay out over the plate. Longoria still kind of misses it a little bit behind it. And that's a good pitch to hit.
We're in the bottom of the 7th. The Yankees are up by 2. The Rays have a runner at third and nobody out. Ball is lined in the left field for a base hit, and it's now a 3-2 ball game. Longoria picks up his second run batted into the ball game. And now I think you'll see somebody throwing in the Yankee bullpen as Larry Rothschild goes to the phone.
Well, he goes back to the slider, and he's lucky that this didn't do more damage. Kind of a slider that spins and stays right there. Longoria hammers it into left field. Kuroda obviously trying to get this down and away, does not, as it stays right there.
Yeah, several pitches have been up in this inning, starting with the double to Joyce. There's James Loney, who's flied to left and lined out to third.
Well, there's been a lot of talk about Kuroda and his pitch counts in this part of the game. You know, the numbers don't really back up the theory, you know, even though we've seen him elevate this inning a little bit. But on the year, his splits on pitches 76 to 100, only through 233 batting average that opposing hitters have against him. So the numbers kind of defy exactly, you know, kind of what's been presented, you know, at times from various sources. But it was really, you know, and according to this year, pitch 51 through 75 that Kuroda throws is the highest batting average against, 318 on the year, and that's just the splits for 2014. He actually does pretty good in this part of the game as far as the year goes. Now we are later in the year now in August, and you still look for signs of game to game of pitchers starting to elevate and get pitches up and hang pitches. So what you see on the ground really matters more at this point.
Little chopper to the right side, and Teixeira is only going to have one play. He touches the bag in front of Loney, and Longoria moves down to second, representing the tying run. There's one down here to 7.
A good pitch down there to Loney, a tough hitter. Good sink on that pitch. Good movement down and away. Loney just beats it straight down into the ground.
You know, it's interesting when you talk about pitchers this time of year, and I always felt you get to the latter stages of the season that pitchers were not throwing as hard. And what I mean by that, maybe initially in the game, but they would lose steam a little quicker later in the season. You get to the 5th inning, maybe your second or third time through the order, all of a sudden that fastball not getting up there quite as quick. And
that's a great point, Kenny. That happened to me a lot.
Escobar takes a pitch outside for ball 1. So I really felt that was the time of year to really fatten up your batting average. It was harder to do because you didn't get as many points out of a good day. But I felt that was a better second half hitter throughout my career. One ball and no strikes on Escobar, who's lined out and grounded out. He's 0 for 2. Kuroda trying to pitch around a runner at second base with 1 out, and the Yankees with a 1-run lead. There's a call strike to Escobar, and it's 1-1. He's a dangerous hitter because he's going to swing the bat. He's not going to walk. Doesn't strike out all that often. Puts the bat on the ball.
Can definitely be exploited out of the strike zone. So
Yeah.
Kuroda should take advantage here if he gets in a count to do it. Splitters down. Make sure you get that slider away if you throw it. Good try right there, down and away with that slider. Escobar's never, excuse me, Kenny's never been one to look for a walk in the batter's box. Usually generally looks to swing.
Tried to get him to chase again, and he wouldn't. And now it's 3-1. Vince Belnome is on deck. And now McCann's going to go out and talk with Kuroda.
Yeah, McCann was thinking the same thing. It's Kuroda and McCann right along today. Not too many shakeoffs. That was the right execution there. 2 straight sliders down and away. Maybe they could have been a little closer. And normally Escobar chases those types of pitches. Give him credit in this at bat. He did not. Still want to be careful here in this situation. You do have first base open, even with the lefty on deck. You don't want to give an easy 3-1 fastball here out over the plate for Escobar.
Strike 2 call. Escobar thought it might have been low. Rippinger, the umpire, home plate umpire, said, "Now come on back here."
93 miles an hour, right at the knees, as you see. McCann's glove kind of moves down a little bit. I mean, that's a strike. That shows you how heavy that sinker is. It kind of hits McCann's glove and goes down. Kuroda still with good stuff at 93 with movement right there on a 3-1 pitch.
Payoff pitch on the way, and it's hit to the right side for Prado. That is out number 2 on the play. Longoria moves over to third. And that'll bring up the youngster Vince Belnome.
Another good pitch there from Kuroda. Kind of a classic pitching backward style. Fastball counts, he threw the sliders and came back with 2 good sinkers to get Escobar there.
Belnome just up from Durham yesterday. The Rays wanted to go with 4 players on the bench. They had been using a 13-man staff. Pitches outside for ball 1. They sent Brandon Gomes, a pitcher, back down to the minors. Three to 2, the Yankees lead. 2 outs and a runner on third here in the 7th inning. Another tight ball game. Swing and a miss, and it's 1-1. Yesterday, with the Rays trailing by a run in the 9th, Joe Madden sent up a pinch hitter for Belnome, Brandon Geyer, and he flied out to right. This time Belnome gets a chance, fouls the pitch off, and it's a ball and 2 strikes. The Rays fought all the way back to 500 yesterday and lost to the Yankees and dropped back below.
It's a big swing game here in this final rubber match game in Tampa. You push the Rays. If the Yankees hold on, you push the Rays back down further, 2 games below 500. And conversely, the Yankees feel pretty good about it by getting back to 4 games over 500, going back home and an off day tomorrow. One of these little swing games that, even though it's 1 game, and psychologically it means a lot for both teams.
That's high for a ball, 2-2. The Rays have lost 62 games. The Yankees have lost 59. I've always felt the good teams are going to lose 60. The bad teams, everybody's going to lose 60 games, at least 60. It's what you do, 60 and 60. Everybody's going to win 60 as well. It's what you do with those other games, those other 42 games that determines what happened in your season.
It's true. Just the randomness of baseball, the variations that happen out of your control are going to dictate that you're right. There's most teams throughout history have won 60 and lost 60.
It's what you do with those other 42 ball games during the course of the season.
Random variations.
Full count on Belnome. The 3-2 pitch is fouled off and out of play. We mentioned yesterday Belnome is from Coatesville, Pennsylvania. Still lives there. That is in the southeastern corner of the state of Pennsylvania. Hiroki Kuroda
worked hard this inning to the 97th pitch coming.
Misses inside, and Belnome draws a base on balls. And the inning will continue. Jose Molina had started towards the plate. Now it looks like he's being called back.
Kuroda takes a shot at the inside corner and misses in. A 3-2 ball game, very carefully placed pitch. With Molina on deck, probably the right call, but now that's going to bring out a pinch hitter.
And it's going to be Brandon Geyer who pitched it yesterday for Belnome and flied out to right field. And Joe Girardi is going to go to the bullpen. So matching moves from the Joes here in the 7th. Those were the thrilling moments of the game, brought to you by Pepsi. Good outing for Hiroki Kuroda. He leaves with the lead, 6 2/3, 4 hits, 2 runs, a walk and a strikeout. He threw 97 pitches. At one stretch, he retired 17 consecutive Tampa Bay Rays. Gives way to Sean Kelly here, with runners at first and third, and 2 outs, and a pitch hitter, Brandon Guyer, coming to the plate for Tampa Bay. Kelly making his 44th appearance of the year. Guyer is 3 for 15 as a pinch hitter this year with no runs batted in. First pitch is upstairs for ball 1.
Kelly, just another one of the Yankee relievers that averages well over 9 strikeouts, or a strikeout per inning rather. More strikeouts than innings pitched up and down that Yankee bullpen.
Swing and a miss, and it's 1-1.
And that is his signature pitch, and when he's right, as he has been recently, it goes straight down. It is a real strikeout pitch. Some sliders got to have a little more side-to-side movement. When Kelly's is right, it's more downward tilt.
Chopper foul off the bat of Guyer. Tom Foley turns it into a souvenir. Bullpen did the job yesterday in the Yankees' 3-2 victory. 3 scoreless innings. Kelly had one of those innings. Had a strikeout. Betances had a strikeout. And David Robertson, a scoreless 9th for the save. Kelly ahead of Guyer on the count. A ball and 2 strikes. Guyer pinch hitting for Jose Molina. Swing and a miss, strike 3. He got him. Sean Kelly, clean up on aisle 7. Rays leave 2 men on. It's still 3-2 Yankees. Photo of the game. Tweet your photo to @YesNetwork using hashtag YesFanPhoto for a chance to be shown in an upcoming game broadcast. Brought to you by AT&T. Mrs. D 777, cultivating a young Yankee fan. Start 'em young. Have fans for life. Jacoby Ellsbury is going to lead it off for the Yankees. Here in the 8th inning, they have a 3-2 lead. And a new pitcher for the Rays is Joel Peralta. This guy seems to come into every ball game, whether they're trailing, leading, or whatever. On the Hyundai scoreboard, 3-2 Yankees lead. Ellsbury had a big hit in the 5th inning that drove in a run. That's the difference in the game right now. As Peralta's first pitch is in there for a call strike. And in the process, Ellsbury broke an 0 for 17. Ellsbury, Teixeira, and Beltran. Here in the 8th for the Yankees. Little chopper foul at the home plate area. It's no balls and 2 strikes. Veteran Peralta. Split changeup, slow curveball, decent fastball, quick pitch. He's got everything out there. You got to be ready. A ball and 2 strikes.
Kind of see Joe Girardi's formula is going to be Betances for the 8th. Betances only worked 1 inning in yesterday's game. So that makes him available today, obviously with an off day tomorrow. So he will have the 8th, and then David Robertson will have the 9th.
Ellsbury pops it up to the left side. It's going to be Escobar. And the shortstop settles underneath it for out number 1. Once in a blue moon, twice in 3 years, Manchester City are the English Premier League champions. Monday, Man City is set to defend their title when they open the new season on the road at Newcastle United. Coverage begins tomorrow at 7 right here on Yes. 1 out here in the 8th, and Mark Teixeira looking for his first hit of the afternoon. He's 0 for 3. Popped up twice and grounded out. The shift is on, and the first pitch is in there for a strike. Zobrist is out in short right field. Teixeira, the Yankees leading home run hitter with 19. Ball is hit high and deep to right field. Kiermaier back, looking up. This one is gone. A home run for Mark Teixeira, and the Yankees now lead it 4-2. Teixeira's 20th home run of the season. Well, that was as high as it was far. And it ties Joe DiMaggio on the all-time list with 361 home runs.
A big moonshot on a hanging curveball. That ball was up there a long time. Looked like it was going to hit one of the catwalks for a minute. Just rains down in front of that catwalk. I mean, that is up there.
Oh, you can barely see it. It kind of blends in with the roof. There it comes, and there it goes. 4-2 Yankees. Beltran takes a pitch up high for a ball. Carlos looking for his first hit. Here's another look.
Peralta, you got to know now. You're hoping, you know right about now.
Give me another one.
I know that feeling so well. Nothing he can do once it leaves your hands.
Swing and a miss for a strike to Beltran. Do you remember who hit the longest home run? I mean, in a way, it's a badge of honor to give up a real long one, because you got to provide a lot of the power.
That's part of it, yes. I mean, it takes a while to get used to it, you know. And on down the road, you can laugh about it.
Well, you're down the road now.
Yes, you can laugh about it now. Peralta's not quite ready for that yet.
Ground ball to the left side. It's Longoria who's going to throw out Carlos Beltran. That's out number 2 here in the 8th inning.
Well, nonetheless, all around the board, that's a big home run, historically speaking, on the all-time record list, and in this ball game as well. An extra run. Now Yankees 4-2, and they have their best relievers lined up and ready to go.
So Teixeira gives some insurance to the Yankees here in the 8th inning. Brings up Brian McCann, and while McCann's up there, he's doing the catching for the Yankees today. I want to wish Jorge Posada a happy birthday. One of the all-time great Yankee catchers. As McCann takes a pitch high for a ball.
Absolutely. Jorge's going to be in Monument Park and probably should get strong consideration for Cooperstown as well.
I would think so.
So hip, hip, hooray. Jorge, hip, hip, Jorge today on your birthday.
I hope he's having a very happy birthday. Pitch to McCann is in there for a strike. Attendance today, 28,812 here at Tropicana Field. And they just saw a long home run off the bat of Mark Teixeira. That pitch misses, not by much. 2-1 on McCann, who has flied out twice and struck out. His first game action since August the 8th. Off the 7-day concussion disabled list. Hit hard on the ground, but it twists foul. You see Loney just standing right on the line. And the count is now 2-2 on McCann. Full count now on Brian McCann as Peralta misses. Peralta with the payoff pitch, and it's popped up. Let's see who's going to have a play on this one. Drifting back, and ball's going to fall in. It looked like Zobrist bumped Escobar, and we'll see how they score that. I think that's going to go as an error on somebody. Maybe Zobrist for bumping into Escobar. We'll see.
Well, once again, you know, both fielders getting used to the shift, and Zobrist runs up the back of Escobar. You know, not Zobrist, I'm sure, hasn't practiced chasing pop-ups from short right field very far. But yes, that would be interference in football. He ran up his back. And since there is no leather on it, it's going to be scored a hit.
You know, I wonder if Escobar called for it. If he didn't, Zobrist, you know, it could be he thought he didn't see it. And you could see Escobar snatch it like he's upset. Now we'll see how they score it here. It's going to go as an error on Escobar.
They switched it around. Second thoughts from the home score.
Ooh. E6.
How does Escobar get that error?
He's not going to be happy. That is his 12th error of the year. He only made 7 all of last year.
Well, it's not the easiest ballpark to catch those kind of pop-ups in anyway, with the white roof here. And
especially in the daytime. The nighttime, the roof is you know, darkened up a bit. But here in the daytime, with the sun shining, it can be tough to find. It kind of reminds me of the way the Metrodome used to be. And they told you don't take your eye off the ball when it's hitting the air.
Yeah, a little brighter today as the sun's out down here in Tampa.
Here's Chase Headley. He's had a hit in 3 trips. See if the Yankees can make the Rays pay for that miscue. Headley tried to check a swing. He goes around too far. Strike 1. And it's like there were too many guys on the right side on that play. Headley hits it hard, and it's through for a base hit. McCann's going to move up 90 feet to second base. Headley's second consecutive hit. He's now 2 for 4. And this one will keep the inning going.
Well, yeah, even as we said, with the shift and 3 infielders on the right, when you hit it this hard, which would have normally been at where a second baseman plays, this time it splits the seam. So Headley going to hit it right through the shift for another knock.
So now Stephen Drew will get an opportunity. Drew has scored a run. He drew a walk in the 5th. He was struck out and popped out in his other appearances. Foul tipped into the glove of Casale for strike 1.
Stephen Drew did work a walk in this game and ended up scoring a run. He was on base, I believe, for
Prado's double.
Prado's
and Gardner's signal.
Yes.
Had a good swing at that one, fouled it back, and it's 0-2. With 2 outs, the runners will be off with the crack of the bat. The Rays shifting for Drew. And it doesn't appear they're going to change even with the 2 strikes. We've seen that occasionally where Escobar will gradually move over back towards the left side. Not this time. Ball is popped up. Longoria drifting back. He's calling for it. And he will make the catch. Not only calling, hand signals, everything. So Betances will be coming in, and the Yankees pick up an extra run. A home run off the bat of Mark Teixeira, his 20th of the season. WB Mason postgame for highlights, analysis, and a full game breakdown. Let's get the clubhouse reaction and Joe Girardi's thoughts on the manager's report. It's all coming up on the WB Mason postgame right here on Yes. The Yankees have made a change defensively as well as on the mound. Ichiro takes over for Carlos Beltran in right field. And doing the pitching is Dellin Betances. So Betances, who was the winner in yesterday's game, ran his record of 5-0 on the season. And his first pitch is fouled back by Kevin Kiermaier. On our Hyundai scoreboard, it's 4-2 Yankees. We're in the bottom half of the 8th inning. Kiermaier's grounded to second, fly to center. He's 0 for 2. It'll be followed by Jennings and Zobrist against Betances here in the 8th. Pitch is fouled back, and this is just over our heads. So Betances quickly ahead on the count. No balls and 2 strikes. One and 2. Yankees trying to hold on, make this 2 out of 3 on his trip down here to Tampa Bay. Call, strike 3. Kiermaier caught looking.
Well, this is just devastating. I mean, quick break right on the corner. Kiermaier, no question about it. A lot of the plate. Inner third.
Yeah, I can just think back to the late, great Ernie Harwell, a great broadcaster, Hall of Fame broadcaster for the Tigers. He used to say, called out for excessive window shopping.
Indeed. And Kiermaier was just locked up.
Here's Desmond Jennings, and he'll take a pitch a little inside for a ball. Jennings has struck out, grounded out twice, 0 for 3.
Kenny, you and I were talking about Dellin Betances in the in between innings, and he leads all major league relievers in innings pitched this year. Coming into this game, 72.
He leads them all in strikeouts too, I would believe.
Well, yeah, that's across the board. The next closest reliever, Dan Otero in Oakland, at 68 and 2/3 innings. So Betances, mainly because of multiple innings here and there on some of his appearances.
Throwing 98 yesterday, 98 today. 2 balls and a strike on Jennings. Whew. Man, strike 2. High octane gas.
Yeah, just pouring it in there, and
man,
McCann getting a chance to dust off his glove a little bit.
Yeah, that's some real smoke right there. Ball is hit. Great stop by Drew. He scrambles to his feet, throws, and it's Jennings with great speed who beats it out. That would have been a heck of a play.
Well, indeed. I mean, we've heard about Stephen Drew and his reputation as a great shortstop. Boy, with a speedy runner. That's an incredible play. Not only the dive, but to get up. But it looked like very quickly he gets up. Maybe just a little fumble. But nonetheless, with Jennings running, no chance. But he almost got him.
You know, it's interesting. We've seen him play second base, and not quite as sure on that side of the bag, but he knows what he's doing as a shortstop. Here's Ben Zobrist. 1 for 3, and it's ground ball towards the middle. Prado has it, flips to second for the force, and that's out number 2. Prado has been a busy man today, and he ranges far to his right to get the force play.
Well, without a doubt, Prado showing excellent range as that ball was looking like, especially on this turf, it was going to get to center field.
Anytime you can bounce one over the head of Betances, you've done a good job just to begin with.
Prado showing excellent range today both ways at second base, a position that he's not really familiar with. Has played for the first time in this series.
Here's Matt Joyce, and he takes a curve just a little out of the zone for ball 1. Tried to check, went around too far, and it's a ball and a strike. Joyce has had a good day. He's 2 for 3 with a run scored. Double it the last time up. His 21st 2-base hit of the season. staying with the hook, and that one's low. Jack Joyce is the only Ray with a multi-hit game going here today. Strike two.
Probably the biggest difference at Betances in the second half of the year is that fastball. More and more confidence in it. Early in the year, a lot of the wipeouts were with the slider.
Swing and a miss. Strike three. He got him. So 2 of the 3 outs by Betances on strikeouts. At the end of 8, it's still 4-2 Yankees. Sports Money. How do the Dallas Cowboys remain America's team? Charlotte Jones, the chief brand officer and daughter of Jerry Jones, answers that burning question. It's a new Forbes Sports Money, Wednesday at 11, only on Yes. Yeah, we're getting near time for pro football. Let's see what the Dallas Cowboys do this year. New pitcher for the Rays is going to be Grant Balfour. And Balfour is the Rays closer, and his first pitch is in there for a strike to Martin Prado.
It's been a real tough year for Balfour coming over back to the Rays. Kind of got knocked out of his closer role. Command has been a big issue, a lot of walks.
In fact, it's Jake McGee who's taken over as the closer. Balfour had 11 saves, but it was the blown saves that got him removed from that role. McGee actually has 2 more saves than Balfour. 1-1 pitch hit hard off the glove of Balfour to Escobar. He throws quickly and wide to first base, and Prado's going to be safe. Wow, a lot of things happening on that play.
Yeah, the first part's chuck and duck for Balfour, and then the ricochet and Escobar all in one motion. Just kind of holds onto the ball too long. As you see, he's got to readjust, come get it, and tries to get rid of it quickly and just hangs on to it too long. Because a good throw would have had Prado.
And we'll see how they scored. I think he got a base hit. Yeah, it's a hit all the way. No error because Prado did not advance. So Prado has his second hit of the afternoon. And Balfour just got out of the way of that one. Here's Brett Gardner. 2 runs batted in, 1 for 4. Takes a pitch high for ball 1. It was Gardner's hit in the 5th inning that gave the Yankees their first lead of the game. A 2-out, 2-run single. And he fouls this one back. And it's a ball and a strike.
Grant Balfour originally had agreed to a deal with the Baltimore Orioles this offseason and could not pass their physical.
There's the bunt. Balfour's up with it. Throws on the first. The sacrifice is completed as Gardner moves Prado into scoring position. Well, for the last time this series, Jeter coming to the plate. Well, both Rays and Yankee fans on their feet. The Yankees do come back here in September. In fact, those dates, to be exact, will be September 15th, 16th, and 17th. Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, all night games here at Tropicana Field. Joe Maddon's not going to be happy with this. Jeter bouncing ball to short for Escobar. And he'll throw the first for the out. On the play, Prado moves over to third on a ground ball to short. There are now 2 down. Jeter exits with a 1-for-5 afternoon. And another standing off from behind the Yankee dugout. So the Yankees trying to tack on one more run here as Ellsbury comes to the plate. He's 1-for-4 with a run batted in. An RBI single in the 5th. And Balfour starts him with ball 1. Well, 2 Derek Jeter fans maybe trying to hang out outside, maybe get an autograph. Ball is fouled off by Ellsbury. It's a ball and a strike.
Deuces are wild.
Well, we just saw a couple of 2s leaving. We got number 22 at the plate. In the dirt, good stop by Casale, and Prado's going to have to remain at third base.
But it really was an interesting offseason for Grant Balfour. You know, I touched on it a moment ago, you know, where he originally agreed to a deal with Baltimore, and Baltimore's physical came up with problems, not with his arm, mainly with his knee. And even though it wasn't really disclosed, rumors came out later and some good reporting done. As you see, the Yankees closer, David Robertson's going to pick up the 9th, but found himself here in Tampa. And there's no question that his velocity's down this year from what it's been in the past. And even back to his Oakland years, he was up in the mid-90s as a closer, really a power fastball guy, and he's clearly lost a little bit of his stuff this year and lost his closer's role as well.
Call, strike 3, and the Yankees will leave Prado at third base. So at the end of 8.5, it's 4-2. David Robertson looking for yet another save. Astros. Yes, we'll have pregame coverage beginning at 6:30. And after the game on My 9, come back for Yankees extra innings. On Wednesday night, don't miss full coverage of Game 2 starting at 6, only on Yes. So the much improved Houston Astros in town. Should be an exciting series. They've got a lot of good young players led by Jose Altuve.
Jose Altuve is just under the radar, maybe the best player in the game.
Yeah.
All around. Defense, best base stealer, hitting over 330.
Leading the league in hits. Here's David Robertson, among the league leaders in saves. He's looking for his 33rd in 35 opportunities. He picked up number 32 yesterday afternoon with a 1-2-3 ninth inning. And the Yankees would take more of the same today. And we mentioned yesterday, Robertson's next strikeout will be the 500th of his career. And he's thrown just 374 and 2/3 innings. And that would be the fastest Yankee in terms of innings pitched to get the 500 strikeouts. He'll face Evan Longoria. The first pitch is outside, ball 1. The second fastest, who would become the second fastest to 500. David Cone, 486 and the 3rd innings before you got to 500 strikeouts as a Yankee. Ball is hit in the air, and this is going to go foul and beyond the bullpen. 1-1 on Longoria.
Well, David Robertson's strikeout numbers since he became a Yankee have been just ridiculous, off the charts. And he's also working on a streak of 20 straight converted save opportunities.
3rd fastest on that list is Goose Gossage. Took him 513 and 2/3 innings to get to 500 strikeouts. A Hall of Famer. Swing and a miss by Longoria. A ball and 2 strikes. Yankees 4, Rays 2. Yankees trying to make it 2 out of 3 the hard way. They lost the opening game of the series. Ball is fouled off. Got in on the hands of Longoria.
So Mariano Rivera holds the franchise record for consecutive saves converted at 36 in a row. Robertson looking for 21 in a row here.
Two balls and 2 strikes. Robertson 3 outs yesterday, got 2 fly ball outs and a soft line out to second. Ball is hit hard to left field. Going back is Gardner, still back, and he's making the catch. There's 1 out. Hard line drive off the bat of Evan Longoria.
Yep. Right at Brett Gardner, though, who had it the whole way. Looked like it just sounded a little different off the bat, like he didn't quite get it. A good swing from Longoria, even though it was hit well. Just sounded like maybe just a little fat, maybe towards the label a bit.
Here's James Loney, who is 0 for 3 on the afternoon. Ball 1.
This game is right in the Yankees' wheelhouse, as you see James Loney 0 for 3 on the night. But close games, the Yankees lead the majors in 2 runs decided by 2 or fewer runs. 39 and 27 record.
Ball's hit hard to right field. On the move is Ichiro. He has a beat on it. Reaches out and makes the catch. Well, a couple of line drives off the bat of the Rays, but Ichiro came in for defense last inning, and he shows you why.
Yes, that's a nice little weapon to bring up the bench late in the game to throw out there in right field. And sure enough, you're going to need it.
10-time Gold Glover.
Bang, bang, you're dead. 2 outs.
So the Rays are down to their last out. Yunel Escobar is 0 for 3, has not gotten the ball out of the infield today. A couple of loud outs, but outs nonetheless. Swing and a missed strike 1. So the Rays, by winning the opening game of the series, fought back to get to 500. But if they lose this one, they'll be back to 2 under. Ball and a strike. Two balls and a strike on Escobar. Bouncing ball to short. Drew has it. This should do it. On to Teixeira, and the Yankees win another one. Final score is 4-2. Give David Robertson another save, his 33rd of the year. And the Yankees do indeed make it 2 out of 3 here at Tropicana Field. And they will celebrate in the middle of the diamond. As Joe Girardi and his team, as I said, they went 2 out of 3 the hard way. Dropping the first game and coming back to win the next 2. 3-2, and this afternoon 4-2. So the Yankees head back to New York. They open up the series Tuesday night with the Houston Astros. But for right now, we're going to go back to our Yes Network studios where Bob Lorenz and Jack Curry are standing by. Take it away, guys.